Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you are doing great in your life. So today in this video, I'm thinking about making and dedicating this video for all the law students out there. So if you are somebody who has to participate into mooting, there are certain essential things which you need to keep in mind. So what are they? Do not be worried in first place if you are going to attend your moot for the very first time. If you are going to win any prize over there which your moot competition has, kudos and a great congratulations to you. But in case if you are not able to win anything, definitely you are going to get a lot of experience, so there is nothing to worry about it, and you shouldn't ever be tensed off while you are ever thinking about participating. So let's get started with mooting. So mooting, what is mooting basically? So once you have your degree, one can very easily practice, but as a law student there are very many sessions held in which you need to know how things happen in the court. So it is a hypothetical scenario in which the kind of court setup is presented and whatever happens over there, an enactment is done, but everything is done in the way a thing is carried in actual court. So mooting, it enhances your practice in your law school days while you would be a lawyer later in your life. So what are the things which you need to keep in mind? There would be memorial. First of all, team member I would be talking about. There would be two mooter and one researcher. You can even have a team which is having of two mooter or two researcher. But what is very essential and the basic is that there has to be two mooter and one researcher if you are going for any mooting. So you have to make a memorial. What is memorial? Memorial would consist a draft in which you have written everything regarding, if you are going for a competition, it is advised that you make memorial of both the side, that is of the plaintiff part as well as the defendant part. So once your memorial, like you have to anyways make of both the sides. So your researcher would help you in all. And what should your memorial consist of? This is a very important thing. Your memorial should consist of certain things. I'm carrying my laptop right now. You can see I was drafting a memorial. So I would be just talking to you, just explaining all the things which I have put in my memorial, and it could be helpful. I'm a final year law student, so if you're in your first year or your second year, we always have moot court competition happening all around the country as well as in foreign universities too. So if you are somebody who is very much interested into mooting and all, you should actually know every fact about it as much as it is possible, as soon as possible, soonest the better. First of all, what you have to do is you have to make a cover page, be it for your plaintiff side or your defendant side. So in this I have made on behalf of the petitioner, I have made it. This memorial I have filed on behalf of the petitioner, and there are certain things which you need to write. There is a format of your memorial. So your memorial need to consist of certain thing in which in my table of content I have actually, see, this is the table of content. I don't know it is visible to you or not. In this table of content I have put list of abbreviations which I would be putting in my memorial later on, and index of authorities. Index of authorities, you would be writing all the books and commentaries or the journals, whatever you are taking help of while drafting this memorial. So index of authority is that. Then you have to write table of cases. Table of cases includes whatever cases you have used in this drafting of memorial, or by which you would be while mooting you would be talking about to make your case strong. So that table of cases is very important because it basically strengthen your matter in your memorial and it makes your case strong. So the next is your statement of jurisdiction. In this you write that if you are appearing for any court, does that fall in that jurisdiction or not. For example, if you are making a memorial or drafting a memorial for Supreme Court, so if you are the matter is of writ jurisdiction, So you have to write statement of jurisdiction. For example, the Supreme Court under Article 32 has the writ jurisdiction. So that is the statement of jurisdiction. It's very simple, you know. And after that you have to write the statement of facts. The statement of fact, what it is, you will always get a question of which you have to draft your memorial. Definitely that's how the case is all about. So in statement of fact, you have kind of segregated the essential facts which is needed to make your strong case. So that is what you would be writing in your statement of facts. Now is issues raised. So it's very important what are the issues on which you would be arguing. So in this issues raised, you would be writing about it. Now the summary of arguments is again how you would be in this, you would be, you know, you would be writing a gist of the arguments you would be presenting while you would be mooting. And next is your arguments advanced. In this, you know, in summary argument you have to write in crisp, you know, and after that in your argument advanced you have to actually say in detail, or you have to write it in a detailed version. So argument advanced is a detailed version of whatever you are trying to write in your argument, or you would be doing while you are mooting. But in summary of argument is the crisp version of that argument advanced. So it is like you have to write your summary of argument, then argument advanced, and final is your prayer. Prayer is very important. This is what you are urging to the bench, that what you want for the case. So this is what you would be writing, and this format you would be following for both your memorial, that is while you are drafting for your plaintiff side as well as your defendant side. So this this little format, which is consisting of list of abbreviation, index of authority, table of cases, statement of jurisdiction, statement of facts, and issues raised, summary of arguments, arguments advanced, and your prayer. This is the, you know, basic thing which you need to have in your both the memorial. So now what is mooting all about? In mooting you would, as earlier I have said, there would be two mooters. So while you would be going for any competition, they have the certain kind of guidelines. If they have, I generally don't know any mooting in which they have single mooter. So definitely it is like you have a team. So the time would be allotted and you would be given a certain time. And first day, like, it depends that does your mooting happens, everything happens in one single day or 2 days are allotted. Generally the entire mooting process happens in 2 days. First day you have to like kind of you have to submit your memorials, and then there would be swiping of your memorial. Either you would be getting who is your defendant, and you are getting, which means who is your opponent. You never know that you would be getting which memorial, in which thing you have to argue. You have to keep very thorough that you can get either plaintiff or respondent. So you have to be very thorough with your case, that whatever you have written, you have a thorough knowledge of that. It doesn't mean that you have written any case or fact or book and you have no knowledge about it. Because there are very many questions which the judges do, and if you don't know things what you have written in your memorial, it would really make it really weak, because when they would give a question to you, it would become very difficult for you to answer. So there you would be losing your marks. And the other thing is, like, your researcher should be very smart person, because researching is all about, that is how your researcher has to be very smart, because many a time when the questions they ask, it is a researcher who always give that shit or give that thing for you that you should actually argue well. So your researcher also need to be very smart. So this is all what you need to know about mooting. It's very simple. You should, as a law student, participate in as number of moots as possible, to the maximum you can ever take participation. It not just builds up your confidence, but then you have a greater grasp of law. Like you study in depth, you know a better version of, the application of law. So once you are reading in your law school, that's important, but how to apply things and everything, that is even more important. So mooting is something which every law student should do at least thrice or 4 times in their life. You should actually you should participate in as much as mooting as possible. With this, I hope this video is a bit helpful to you, or in case you find it really useful, please do tell me in the comment section how did you find the video. In case you want any more of this sort of video or regarding to law or any help of that sort, you can always comment me in the comment section. I would love to film a video of that kind. Thank you and have a great day.